Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Bob Mendelsohn, and this is the Bob's Your Uncle podcast, Season 7, Episode 7, Day 4 of Holy Week and Day 4 of Passover 2025. It is time to reflect again on what happened in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago and what impact that should have on us in these days. In fact, you'll be surprised at the actual episodes or incidences that occurred in those days, according to the record of Scripture. We'll show you that in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
Science book. Don't know much about the French I took, but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be.
Today in history, 16th of April, in 1862, President Abraham Lincoln signed an act abolishing slavery in Washington, D.C., an important step in the long road toward full emancipation and enfranchisement for African Americans. Also on this date, notable historical events include the first passenger rail opening in India and the return of Vladimir Lenin to Russia from exile. It also is the first woman who flew an airplane across the English Channel. Her name was Harriet Quimby. And remember, the Rolling Stones' debut album was released on this day. And that's today's historical marker of the day.
But I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be.
And it's also here on YouTube. And I'm still in Alabama, and I'm on my last leg or so of this speaking tour during Holy Week, during the Passover season 2025. Today it is day 4. And if I read the Bible and you read it and we all come up with different things, that makes sense because God speaks to our hearts. But as I've searched this on various sites, nothing seems to have happened in the Holy Week when Yeshua was moving towards the cross and the resurrection on day 4, the Wednesday. Isn't that strange? Nothing's recorded that says, and then the next day, this happened. And I don't know if that means they were preparing for Passover, which would begin tomorrow night. I don't know if they just all left things out. But my understanding is when there's a lull, when there's a valley, when there's a quiet, like I am here at this cabin by a river, and I love this sign that says, life is better by the river. That's certainly a great reflection for me as I'm here alone tonight in Camden, Alabama. Maybe that's what was going on in Yeshua's life. There were times when he paused and pulled away and said, I'm going to be over there. You fellas do what you need, but I need to pull away for a while. Lulls, quiet times, sleepy times, times of rest, times of reflection, rest, and getting ready for what's ahead. And that makes sense to me. Look, a lot of things have been happening during his whole earthly ministry, and then Holy Week itself, reading the four Gospels about the last few days. It's exploding. We have seen the crescendo of increased confrontations. And where does he stay? He's staying out at Eliezer's place. You might know him as Lazarus. And there he is. And Mary and Martha are there. They're also featured in some of the accounts. It's a time to be with his friends. Not the disciples, although he's also with them, of course, but with his own mates, his own friends. Lazarus, Eliezer, was a living testimony to something that was dead that comes alive. Yesterday we talked about a tree that was alive and becomes dead, that fig tree. Religion is like a dead fig tree. It starts, it looks good, but it fades. Mary and Martha evidenced something similar. Remember, they had that story when Mary and Martha were there and Yeshua comes in. And Mary is sitting at his feet, listening, learning, being with him. And Martha's up scurrying and saying to Yeshua, can't you make her do stuff? She's not pulling her own weight. She had been the one, Mary, who anointed Yeshua's feet with the expensive perfume. There's something about sitting and being with him, and maybe that's what I'm thinking today. And I was actually thinking this before I came to Camden, before I was put here by the church where I'm speaking tonight. They put me here, and who knew what a rest it was and it is for me. So I want to ask you, what are you doing to reflect what you have heard? Reflect on what you've heard. We do this every week in the public reading of Scripture. We listen to some Older Testament, and I say, let's pause and reflect on what we heard. And when we hear the Newer Testament, same thing. Are you doing that today? Yesterday? Tomorrow? Will you do that? This is a perfect day to pause and reflect. It's a day to rest. It's not the day of rest, but it's a day to rest and ponder. I love pondering. And then to get ready. You see, this is the most important and impressive and impacting weekend ever since creation. Yeshua, this week, spoiler alert, is going to die. He's going to be buried, and he's going to rise from the dead. Now, if that's not impactful, I don't know what is. So this is the time to ready for that, to get his mind and his heart and his spirit in line with the Father. Maybe that's something for you. Maybe that's your takeaway. That's certainly my takeaway in this lull in day 4 of Holy Week. I wish you a very pleasant day, evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow about what's ahead. It'll be Passover, and there will be a flurry of activity. But for now, this is day 4. Shalom. I want you to be able to contact us. I want you to write. You can write me an email, bobmendo@aol.com. That's the shortest way to reach. You can comment on Spotify or Apple or iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening to this podcast. I'm in the U.S. for a few more months, and then I will go back to Sydney. I wonder if you want to talk to me, or you want maybe to recommend a particular person for me to interview. That'd be great. Just let me know, and I'll see what I can do, and we'll let others meet your friend or this contact. I've been getting a few this week, so we'll see what we can do to get more folks. After Holy Week, we'll go back to our regular podcast. Okay. Hey, thanks. Have a great rest of the day. Talk to you tomorrow.